So the city of Dallas is debating if they should close public libraries. Oh my gosh, these kids, if they close the libraries, I'm telling you, these kids have no hope. And I mean no hope at all. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell. So every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
This could be a late night for the Dallas City Council working to finalize a multi-billion-dollar budget. The cost cutting could mean closing several public libraries. Fox 4's Lori Brown joins us now with the latest information. Lori.
Of course, the Dallas City Council has been meeting for hours in executive session this afternoon. And when they come back to their public meeting, they still have a long list of budget amendments to get through before they approve the final budget. Earlier, the mayor challenged city council members to find excess spending in the budget to cut the tax rate even more. The city manager's proposed budget cuts the tax rate by a half cent per $100 in valuation. That amounts to about a $12 savings for the average Dallas homeowner. But because property appraisal values are rising, a homeowner may still have a higher property tax bill. 9 council members voted in favor of closing the Skillman Branch Library at the recommendation of the city manager and the mayor.
9 council members. I believe they have 12. 9 council members, the same people who probably use these public libraries to help educate themselves, do book reports, all this kind of stuff. I remember growing up, the Pleasant Grove library, good Lord. The God, what was it called? I want to call it the Skyline Library, but I don't think that was the name of it. Because I can't think of the damn name it was on, but that was the name of it, but the street it was on. God, but I know the main street was Jim Miller Road over there by Skyline High School. I remember hitting that library. I remember hitting the downtown Dallas library up growing up because we had book reports. So you had to go to these libraries and look for books. Uh, you had to call and ask them if they had certain books in stock. If they did, can you hold it for me for about a good 2 hours? We'll be there in a minute to get it. Libraries were mainly right there on the bus route. I think all the public libraries are on a bus route. So inner city kids had no reason not to be able to get to the library. And we had book report. You had to go to different libraries, do book reports, this, and the third. I remember going to the library during nursing school when I was living on the outside of Dallas, in the suburb of Dallas, going to libraries in Farmers Branch, Carrollton, Louisville, living up in them areas. Yeah, had to go to those libraries to study, to read, get on the internet, look for jobs, all kind of stuff. The public library is I'm gonna say an invaluable resource for kids and adults. I remember going. You could probably go to a library right now. Take your non-reading tail, and I'm talking about the adults, because we already know your kids can't read. Because I mean, the statistics show that only about 17 to 20% of kids in school, high school kids that graduate damn near, read on a third grade level, third, fourth grade level, which is interesting because the second and third grade are the years that teachers stop teaching basics and everything starts going up in learning levels. So if you don't know how to read, if you don't know how to read for comprehension, if you don't know your colors, if you don't know your numbers, they're not going to teach you those. They're moving on up. So now, no, I'm gonna say comprehension. If you don't know how to read, if you don't know how to do your, know what I'm saying, know your numbers, know your colors, stuff like that, do basic math. They're not teaching that no more as kids get older in grade levels. Now they're teaching to, what I'm saying, to enhance that learning, to build on that learning. So again, if you can't read, how the hell you gonna learn your child gonna learn how to read for comprehension? Thus, why the majority of your kids don't know how to read. I'm talking about y'all, not mine. The majority of your kids don't know how to read for comprehension. And those kids that do know how to read for comprehension, they usually pass those standardized tests with no problems. But your children, they're not doing it. You need the freaking public library because, like I said, like I was finna say, I got off track. any morning. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say any morning. Go online, look up your local library, see when they what kind of activities they have in the morning. Because during the week, summertime, school, hell, even during school time, they have activities in the morning, like reading activities. And you will be and just be amazed at how many foreigners, the people that y'all feel are coming in here taking your jobs and don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? But again, you're not educating yourself or your kids, so that's why they can do it. Check out to see how many foreigners go to these reading events that's for kids and sitting there with their children while these librarians read to them children. Go and see how these foreigners learn English, the language you can barely read because, again, only about 17 to 21% of your kids can read on grade level. How these foreign grown adults go there and learn English alongside their children. It's kind of like when my child was doing something, my children was playing softball, and I became her softball coach. I knew very little about softball. So we sat there and learned it together. No, so we learned the game together. That's what these foreigners do when they go to these libraries. They learn English together with their children, but not you. But anyway, let me continue. Man, you need the library. Like I say, you need the library because you can't read, and you showing the hell ain't teaching your kids or making your kids do their homework. They need something like this to go to. Start at a young age.
There is another library nearby
Hold on.
for more recommendation of the city manager and the mayor. The mayor argues there is another library
Go
will have
back a
a
little.
higher property tax bill. 9 council members voted in favor of closing the Skillman Branch Library at the recommendation of the city manager and the mayor. The mayor argues there is another library nearby. 4 more libraries will be on the chopping block next year as the city.
If there's a library nearby, hell, there should be libraries on every corner like there's a damn liquor store and a church. Put libraries right next to every church and see what happens. I mean, seriously, because hell, pawn shop. Put a library right next to a pawn shop. Something. It doesn't matter that there's a library on it down the street.
Looks to implement a more regional library approach. Dallas residents turned out to City Hall today to
They
voice
talking
their
about closing 4 more libraries. You see these books? See, eventually the goal is to get rid of books. Y'all do understand that, right? And make everything digital. You know that's a problem. Because just because it's digital and you put on internet today, at any time the internet can go down, they can get rid of it, wipe it out. You see what this administration is trying to do with free speech, and if you say something he don't like, they get mad. But can't start it with him because Joe Biden did the same thing. Joe Biden did the same thing during his administration. Wouldn't let you talk about the COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? It's things you couldn't say about certain programs, stuff that they were doing. If you talked about it, they would like on YouTube. So we talking about social media, something that's not even regulated by the FCC. You go on social media, say the wrong thing, and they will shadow ban your channel, might even block it, strike your channel down, and it wouldn't even be nothing that was like egregious. It's just they didn't like it. So, like I said, I'm not just gonna put it all on Donald Trump, but it's something. But they all trying to get rid of these books, put everything digital, get rid of tangible stuff, and then once they make stuff digital, and then they get rid of it, what are you gonna do? If you can't afford the internet, what you gonna do? Virus hit your computer, hit your phone. What you gonna do? That's why I try my best to buy a book. I haven't bought a book in a while. I will say that, but hell, I'm trying to read to catch up on what I already got. But every now and then I get caught up. You know, I hear a good story, I hear a good title, and I go ahead and get that. But anyway, you got to have tangible books. We need the library.
Operations.
A safe neighborhood is not built only on patrol cars, but on opportunity, education, and trust. Closing libraries makes Dallas less safe.
Libraries have always been a place of wonder and amazement for me. It really inspired in me a love of learning and reading and led to my career today as an attorney, which may not have happened without the Dallas Public Library.
He's an attorney. And he said he used the library. Hell, we had to. See, in college, you're going to have to use a lot. If your kids ever are blessed enough to make it to college, you're going to have to use the college library for references. You're just going to have to. Did you notice that the two people that was up there talking were white people and not ours, not our folks? But right here, the people trying to close these libraries, two black people sitting right here. Recommended.
If
Lord,
we cannot make a decision like this, I'm very concerned about any prospect that this city has of ever truly competing on the basis of tax rate. This is
he talking about tax rate, not the education and the betterment of your kids. Your kids gonna be part of that prison. I mean, what they call the preschool to prison pipeline. Just want y'all to understand that.
a critical ingredient in the cake that we're trying to bake for people when they're trying to make a decision about where to live and where to relocate a company or where to start a business.
The parks director warned that the city of Dallas will also have to consider closing its community swimming pools next year because there are no dollars allocated for operation in year 2 of the budget. City council members also decided to eliminate funding for state lobbyists, saving the city nearly $340,000. The budget includes $1.3 billion for public safety and $162 million for street improvements. Could be a late night here at City Hall. They have a total of 40 budget amendments to make their way through before approving the final budget. Clarice.
All right, Lori, we'll be watching as the night continues. Lori Brown live at City Hall in Dallas.
So probably by the time y'all see this, they probably made their decisions. But man, it makes me want to go back to the days when city council was only making $12 a meeting, because they might be making too much money right now. They can't even think, can't even think straight. Now, a lot of y'all say that, you don't go to the library. What's the benefit of the library? Keep saying library, Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to DISD Public Education. But yeah, y'all got to understand, the library is more than just books. This is something that people need to really, really understand. For all of you Black Native Americans, all of us don't want to say we part of some Indian tribe and we should get our land and what's rightfully ours back. And you want to look up your family tree. There are libraries, as a matter of fact, the one in the city that I live in, that has access to a nationwide database, not just the one that the Mormons have with the ancestry.com, I believe, but like actual physical records that the ancestry.com people don't have. But this is like the government state, like the national records, to where you can go back and trace your lineage, to where that normally like you have to pay money to look these records up. But certain libraries have that database that if you have a library card and you live in that city, that's my problem. I don't actually live in the city. I'm like in the rural area, but some of my address is in the city. But I'm like, we don't have like all of our water and trash services and stuff. We don't use city services. We got everything's contracted out here. But anyway, if you actually live in the city and you have a library card, you can actually go to the library and look at this database for free. Look up your family history for free. And it doesn't cost you a thing because you have a library card. I think it's a problem when libraries are only open like 2 or 3 days, 3 days a week now. Close early, only open like a few hours a day because of budget cuts. It's detrimental to the kids. And they have a lot of programs. I mean, I've seen it where they have like STEM programs. They have like robotic building programs, no classes and stuff at the public library. But nobody goes. At least our people don't go for some reason. And then you want to get mad and the white man is holding you back. But there are things that they are offering you for free. You just got to get up there now. Like I say, in the suburbs, I know it might be a little harder because there's no bus line. But hell, I'm quite sure y'all get around to wherever if you can get to the grocery store, then you can get to the library. That's all I got to say about that. But let's look at a few things that a public library or a library card can offer you. The obvious things are reading and learning. They got physical books, you know, all books you want to read. There's a library. If they don't have it here, you can order a book and have it shipped to the library that you're at. If another library has it, and then you check it out free of charge still. Audio books, CDs or digital downloads, ebooks via apps like Libby, Hoopla, or Overdrive. All this stuff is free with your library card. Magazines and newspapers for those who like to read, both print and digital. Research databases, which again, once you you really should use them throughout school. But when you get to college, you're gonna need to know how to use them databases. Test and prep study guides like SAT, GED, LSAT, etc. You need to have like to graduate college, to graduate high school a lot of time to get into certain colleges, I say. Like the SAT or to get your GED because you dropped out of school, whatever, because you didn't go to the library, but now you decided to go to the library. They got movies and TV shows. You can say DVDs, Blu-ray, or streaming via Canopy or Hoopla. Interesting. You can get music, CDs, or streaming platforms, partner with the library, video games. Some libraries lend consoles and games. Yeah, they actually do. I mean, back in the day, you used to be able to, they used to loan out VCRs and DVD players. With a library card, people. You got public computers and internet, the Wi-Fi hotspot, software access, Photoshop, coding tools, etc. in makerspace. 3D. Some libraries got 3D printers, virtual reality, and other makerspace equipment. Interesting. I didn't know that. 3D printers. I did not know that. Also, they give you like some libraries give you job and career help. They help you with resumes, job databases, language learning programs. Again, a lot of times, like I say, you see these forums. Wyclef Jean, remember that guy who was in the Fugees? He said he learned how to speak English going to the library and watching Sesame Street. Like you said, there's a library in every hood in America. And he learned English going to a library and also watching Sesame Street. What did it say? Mango Languages, Rosetta Stone, financial literacy tools, legal aid resources, genealogy databases, like I said, like Ancestry.com, Library Edition, like I say. And like I said, some libraries have that national database that you would normally have to pay for. If you live in that city and got a library card, you can actually use that database for free. Community perks, museum passes, and cultural institution discounts, event tickets. Some libraries partner with theaters or sports teams. I didn't know that. Community meeting room, study space. That's interesting because you can reserve rooms. I've seen people who do like YouTube channel who do podcasts, and they'll go to the library and rent out, or I guess you want to say reserve a room for a couple hours, like damn near, I guess probably free of charge, don't cost. So if it is a small fee, but regardless, and they'll go in there and they'll do their podcast. I mean, it's a big room, you know what I'm saying? You ain't at home, you ain't distracted. I mean, it's almost damn near soundproof. It's a great place to do a podcast in these rooms with no interruption. Workshopping classes like coding, crafts, business skills, etc. It's each library system is different. Some even loan out tools, sewing machines, musical instruments, bicycles, or baking pans. Exactly. Also, do you know that some libraries have seeds? Yes, seeds that you can plant in the ground in a garden to grow food. Can't make this stuff up. But people don't know that because they don't want to go to the library. They don't care about the library because they don't want to read. I think that's all it offers. But library can be your lifeline to the real world, to jobs and careers, to get you out of poverty or to make sure you don't go into poverty. to put you on that next level. They are there to help, and it's free of charge. All you got to do is get a god doggone me library card. But nobody wants to do it. This is crazy. I don't get it. But again, when you start talking about how the man's holding you back, you know what I'm saying, it's racism, which there is, prejudice, people trying to do things to hold you back, which people are trying to. Going to that library is your key to get away from that. Is your key to not, you can't get away from it, but it's going to help you get what you need to get ahead, because it's out there for the public. If you want to homeschool your kids, you ain't got to do it at home. Go to the library. Get you a room and go to the library. Get the other kids in the neighborhood. Y'all get to one of these, go into one of these rooms, one of these meeting and the studies rooms, and hold your classes there. But hey, what do I know, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm just a kid that grew up with a Dallas Public Library card, went there when I could. Like I say, went to the, I guess, what would you call it? Denton County Library, you know what I'm saying? The libraries up there, use those throughout school. And now, so like I said, I read now and I go online, do what I need to do now. So, but hey, we gotta do better, y'all. You can't let these libraries close, because again, if you let that happen, your kids got no chance. They already got no chance as it is. Now you just take it all away. Preschool to prison pipeline. It's up to you. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. And leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here at this channel. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.